Aldous Huxley, for example, the renowned British writer and intellectual, explored mystical experiences far and wide, finally experimenting with psychotropic drugs and advocating their use as a tool of enlightenment. His 1954 work, The Doors of Perception, titled from a line by William Blake's Gnostic treatise, The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, became a classic of psychedelic literature. A decade later, the book, as well as Blake's writings, became the inspiration for both the name and the spirit behind one of the most influential bands in rock, The Doors.
Let's swim to the moon, let's climb through the tide.
Keyboardist Ray Manzarek explained, "At the time, we had been ingesting a lot of psychedelic chemicals, so the doors of perception were cleansed in our own minds. And we saw the music as a vehicle to, in a sense, become proselytizers of a new religion, a religion of self, of each man as God. That was the original idea behind the Doors." And the form of music played by the Doors? Well, you can call it rock and roll, but Morrison and the rest of the band understood its primal source, what it would have been called in another time and in another context.
I've read a little bit about shamanism, what we see with the music and that kind of thing. The shaman, in defining his role in society, he's just more interested in pursuing his own fantasies.
Let's reinvent the gods, all the myths of the ages, celebrate symbols from deep elder forests. We need great golden copulations.
Where did the God of the Bible fit in Morrison's new theology?
Petition the Lord with prayer. You cannot petition the Lord with prayer!
After deconstructing both Christianity and Western culture, he wonders what should take its place.
We need some water, something new, something else to get us through,
And what was that new something? Reinvented gods, the ancient ones, the shaman, the wild child, disorder and chaos, a snake who's old and whose skin is cold.
Calling on the gods, calling on the gods.
Manzarek described the transformation of Morrison, the Lizard King, as these spirit guides came over him in concert.
To the mirror in the bathroom.
It was a psychological horror, freak show in the sense of the shaman, the sense of possession. Morrison was the shaman who took people on a mystical journey to a darker psychic realm. And guitarist Robbie Krieger added his perspective. "We were revivalists," he said, "as well as musicians, and wanted our audience to undergo a religious experience." Well, millions of fans underwent this religious experience, following the Doors and dozens of other psychedelic bands into the mystical new age envisioned earlier by Huxley.
The reason for the Doors, the raison d'etre for the Doors, was making music to plug yourself into the vibrations of the planet, harmonize your inner vibration with the vibration of the audience, the human beings vibrating in harmony together. It's like a pagan, it's like some sort of a mystical Christ. The release of Kundalini, the Kundalini power expanding in your body and curling and coiling upwards. The Aquarian age, in which we'll finally begin to merge all the religions and sciences and arts and whatnot, and we'll all realize that we are gods Jim Morrison was a god to himself. I'm a god unto myself. We are all gods unto ourselves. So to put it outside of yourself is is a false messiah. That's a messianic. That's the end of 2,000 years of the culture and the religion that we're involved in now.